What is going on, guys? DBG here, and let's get your popcorn ready. This is gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a long L video. So today, we're going to be going over the best players in my team. So, we got a lot of them. We got a lot of players. If I forgot a player, I do apologize. I definitely forgot a few. We've got best 10, we've got elite, we've got very good, good, decent, only using if you like them in real life. And then we have got not great as well. None of these cards are terrible. Some of these cards are not very good, but none of these cards are straight up terrible. We've only got like a couple amethysts, a couple rubies. Like, it's not like we're putting bad cards in this list. But anyway, let's get on to it. So Aaron Gordon, I'm going to put in the decent category. Like, Gordon is perfectly fine. He is perfectly fine as a player in this game. Like, his jumper is pretty decent. His overall movement is pretty good as well. His overall movement, like off the ball, is good. His defense is good. He shoots really off in the corner. He's a half corner specialist. The only problem with this card is that, it's hard to create with him. It is hard to create with the guy. And when it's hard to create with a player, like, it does limit how effective they can be if the only time they're really hitting shots is if they're wide open in the corner. And his release isn't fast. It's not as slow as some people like to say it is, but it's not particularly fast either. It's nowhere near as slow as it was last year. Then we got, I'm going to put, what's his name in good? I'm going to put Caruso in good. He's a player that I think is extremely underrated. Like, if you're asking me about Alex Caruso, I think, just in general, he's a guy that is completely slept on. I don't know why he's as underrated as he is. Like, I kind of understand why he's a little bit slept on, but guy can shoot the ball well. The guy's got really good, he can shoot the ball well. He's got really good defense. He's got that half interceptor badge, which is probably the best badge in the game. His overall defense is good. Offensively, again, he can't really create his own shot, which is why he's only in this category and not higher. But yeah, he's going to be good. Iverson, I'm going to put Iverson. Like, look, if you ask me who I prefer, Iverson or Caruso, it's going to be Iverson. It's going to be Caruso, but Iverson's the better card. Iverson's small. Like, if Iverson was like 6'3", he'd be in the very good category. It's hard to put Iverson above good. I think that Iverson can be in the right hands very good, but in the wrong hands, the guy can be a scrub. I think maybe I might move Iverson to very good because, again, there are people that are really good with him. I'm just not. Yeah, I'm moving to very good for now. Alonzo Mourning, decent. He's not terrible. He was terrible for what he was, which was like, 2,300 cards? It's a ridiculous amount of cards you need for a card that's as bad as Alonzo Mourning. I just need to put it that way. Like, for a card that is this bad, he's weak. He is definitely weak. Or for a card that is as hard to get as him, he's definitely weak. I'm going to put Andre Drummond into good. Bordering on very good. He's one of the best interiors in the game. Problem is that it's more and more getting to the stage where a lot of guys that are very similar to Drummond, for example, Birdman, that rebound almost like Drummond, that will hawk lanes like Drummond. I know Drummond is half interceptor, but like someone like a Birdman has a higher steal rating and goal, or similar steal rating and goal interceptor. But these guys can now shoot the ball. I think he's definitely going to be one of the better players in the good category. He's a card that I do really like, but I'm going to put him into good. Iguodala. Andre Iguodala's going into elite. He's so good. Like, he might be in the top 3 or 4 most underrated players in this game. He really might be. The thing with Iguodala that people don't really get is, yeah, he's a cone, but he's like modern day Gerald Wallace. As in, remember the way people were able to use Gerald Wallace back when he first came out? Like, you can use Iggy like that today. So as in, Gerald Wallace is a little bit outdated right now, but when people first started using Gerald Wallace, he was the damn best. And Iggy still pretty much, in terms of just being a pure cone, is one of the best in the entire game. He is a cone. Again, as I always say, call a cone, but man, cones can be good. Cones are useful. You need cones somewhere in your team. So yeah, Iguodala's going to elite. AK, I'm going to put AK into very good. I think he's still more than solid. No, I'm going to put him into good. He's still more than solid. He's still more than usable. I know there are still really good players to this day that are just due to comfortability are still using AK in their squad. Like just because of how comfortable they were with him when he first came out. And they're still to this day just or how much they liked him when he first came out, they're still to this day just really comfortable with him. So there are a lot of people that do like AK, but he's solid. He's not going to do much. I put Wiggins in the very good. Wiggins is a 6'8" 2 guard. Like his defense is brilliant. Like it is genuinely brilliant. His height is good. Like there are no weaknesses to Wiggins except for the fact that he can't really create too well. He's not as bad as someone like an Aaron Gordon in terms of creating, because I do think he's not that bad in terms of creating, but he's also not very good. So he's going to go into the very good tier, but he's not far off elite. Jameson's going to go elite. Jameson really does belong in the elite tier of players. He's one of those guys that I don't think he's worth locking in 200k. And if he was on the auction list for 200k, I would say he's not that bad a price. The problem is that when it comes to lock-ins, is that you can't sell them back. So really, normally say if you buy a card for 200k and you sell them back 2 weeks later, they might have lost 50k. So that card might have ended up costing you, say, 50k plus tax, so like 75k when you sell it back. However, once you lock in a player, especially someone like a Jameson, where you can't even make the argument that, oh, there's a bunch of free cards that are really good, like on the way to getting him, like locking in for a Hakeem or something. But you don't get any, you get autographs that are useless. I'm going to put McDyess into good. McDyess is a niche player. Like, he is a niche player. There are going to be players that are really good, that really like Antonio McDyess. I just want to put it out there, like, what he does, he's really good at. Like, he is a bully. Like, he's genuinely a bully. He's got that unbelievably high strength rating that is kind of one of the more underrated stats in the game with the half back down punisher. So he can just back down people. And once you get them under the basket, they're like prime targets for paint mashing. He's also got that strength, which makes him much, and he may or may not have brick wall Hall of Fame, but it makes him way, way harder to back down. Like, it's not easy to back down this guy. And like, he's not the greatest player in the world, but at certain things, he's really good at. Like, he's really good at certain things in game and certain important things. So he's going to go into good, maybe very good. I'm going to go into elite players for Arvydas Sabonis. I think Sabonis in general is, for me, Sabonis is going to give me personally the same thing as what Yao will give me. Except maybe he's going to be a better shooter. But I know for most people, Yao is going to be better than Arvydas Sabonis. Like, don't get me wrong. I know most people he is going to be better, but there's not much of a difference. His stats are basically identical. Yao's just taller. Sabonis is a better shooter and passer. So, yeah, we got him into very good. I'm going to put Bradley into the good category. I think Bradley's really nice. There are going to be much worse cards as this goes on than Avery Bradley. Or say he's not in the good category, he's in the decent category. Like, he's going to be really good. Like, I'm going to make a top 5 players in their 5k budget list later today. And I reckon Bradley's probably going to be, probably going to make that list, but he's solid. Bailey Hell's in the very good category. He's, like, if you give him the right badges, he's really good. Like, if you give him like a +4 3-pointer shoot, he's got all DeMar DeRozan SIGs. We all know how good DeMar DeRozan is in terms of like movement and stuff. So he's got like Trey Burke release, so it's easy to green. He's got shifty as well. And unlike DeRozan, he's not going to shoot as well as DeRozan. But the difference is that he's got Hall of Fame rebound chaser, whereas DeRozan's biggest negative is the fact that he actually can't rebound. Whereas you're going to rebound really, really well with Bailey Howell at that power forward position. I'm going to put Baron Davis into elite. I'm super high on this card. He's my starting point guard right now. I prefer him to Gary Payton. I'm not going to, like, Payton might end up being the best 10. I know most people are going to prefer Payton to Baron Davis. But because of the fact that, and a lot of people I know are going to say, oh, Baron Davis is even too high being in elite. He shouldn't be in that tier. And that's the reason why he's in elite tier. For me, Baron Davis is pushing, probably not best 10, but he's pushing it. Like, he's one of my favorite players in the game to use right now. So, for that reason, like, I can't not put him in elite. Ben Wallace, not great. He's going to the bottom tier. At this stage in the game, Ben Wallace is really not very good in the game. He's going to play some defense. He's so bad at shooting, and he's just so bad on offense. He can't do anything except dunk. He really can't do anything except dunk in game. We got Bernard King. Bernard King is going very good. I think very good is the best spot for him. He is a really solid card. He is a really... no, if I've got AK and good. If I've got AK and good, he's going to go very... I'm going to actually swap some of these. So I'm going to move... Caruso down to decent. And then I'm happy with these tiers. Iverson's going to go down. I mean, I'll put Iverson to very good. And then we got Bill Russell. Bill Russell is going to go into the good category. Very good if you like his release. Good category if you don't. I just hate that release. I hate that release with a freaking passion. Set shot 17 is one of my least favorite things in this entire game. He's not bad on defense. He's pretty good. But like his defense isn't that much better than, for example, a Birdman, and a Birdman is just gonna be able to get a lot more shots off than him and is a little bit cheaper. But Bill Russell, I'll put him in good. I think he's alright. Billy Cunningham. Now he's just solid. He's like smaller Blake, but just more solid everything. Billy Cunningham has no weakness. I'm gonna put him very good. I'm going to put the guy in very good. I think he's that little bit off elite. He's a tiny bit off, but it's really not much. Blake. Well, Blake in very good. Defensively, Blake struggles quite a lot. And that is the big problem with him, is that he does really, really struggle on the defensive end. This Blake is very comparable to the Pink Diamond Blake last year. And the fact that it is January the 19th and nobody's still using that card, whereas last year he was everyone's backup center, is just a testament to how many just juiced cards 2K have put into the game this year. Like 2K have just put in so many juiced cards into my team. It's nuts. But yeah, so he's gonna go into very good. I don't mind him. Dio, I'm gonna Dio into good. I'm gonna put Dio into the good category. No, Dio's gonna go decent, especially this Dio. The only thing is that like Dio has the duo which makes Penny the best point guard in the game. So like that is a very, very important duo. And that's kind of the reason why anyone's going to use any Dio. Like the most like high level players, the only reason they would ever use a Dio is because of that duo. So for me, I think that's probably the best spot to put him into the decent category. Bradley Beal, I'm sorry, I'm putting Bradley Beal in decent. Dude's 6'3". Dude's 6'3". He no longer even has a Scotty behind the back. He's got slasher dribble style. Yes, he can shoot. Yes, he can shoot. He's not even a very good defender. Like, if you're asking me who I would rather have the two, I know he shoots from deeper, but I mean, give me Caruso over him. Beal. I mean, Beal is better. But because of Beal's price, he is decent. But because of Beal's price, I genuinely would consider putting him into a lower tier. And not a lower tier because it's lower. A lower tier because of the specific name of the tier. I think he does probably belong in the... Because there are a lot of Wizards fans. Well, there are a lot of people that like Bradley Beal. So I'm going to put him in the only use if you like in real life tier. Because he's the perfect example. He is better than some of the players in decent. He's a lot better than Avery Bradley. Maybe as good as Dio, but he's a player that fits that description. Big Country, not great, is he? Big Country's really not great. So for me, Big Country's well and truly in the not great tier. So, Buddy Hield. Like, it pains me to do this because he's my main creator. Buddy Hield's going into the very good category. Obviously, Evo Buddy Hield. Non-Evo Buddy Hield does not put, like, can't guard a tree, like. He can't guard anybody. But Evo Buddy Hield is locked down. Is a pretty decent dunker, can move. So yeah, I'll say Buddy Hield's gonna go into very good category. Calvin Nat. Calvin Nat's decent. He is decent. He's got that really high strength rating. I know Splash really likes the card because of the way he plays, but he's not. He's decent. He might be going to good category. Yeah, he's going to go into good. He's probably the best player in decent tier. Calvin, that's going to go up into good. He's a little bit undersized to play the power forward position, but he's really strong. So he's quite hard to back down. So if you are playing someone who's backing down with small forwards, I know not a lot of people are going to be doing that, but if you do happen to be facing one of them, one of the 3 players in the world that might do that, it's pretty good. Melo. Now, Melo's just gone out of my team. I'm going to still put Melo in the very good category. I still think he's a very good player. I think when we're talking about the best players in the game, he's not in the top 2 tiers, but I mean, I'm still putting him in very good. He's solid. He's really solid. Hazzy Russell. Now, he's so freaking good. You give him range. He's the best player on this list so far, by the way. He is the best player. He's the closest we have right now to going into top 2. I don't know if he's going to be best 10. I really don't. But he's close. He is really, really close. I'm going to put him there for now. See what way our 2 guards and small forwards look. He might be moved down. Bosh. Now, Bosh is elite. Bosh is one of the best big men in the game. He's not, in my opinion, top 2. I think D-Rob is still... I think D-Rob, overall, is still probably the best. The guy came on the 5th of November. It's the 19th of January. Like, we haven't seen longevity like that in a card since, like, Stephen Curry in 2K21. And the only reason that card had longevity, especially on next gen, was because fades were broken. But yeah, honestly, seems to be a pretty good card. Now we're gonna go in Cliff Robinson. I'm putting Cliff into elite. I'm gonna put Cliff Robinson into elite because his defense is immaculate. Like, everyone's talking about Mo Lucas. At the same time, like, Cliff is basically the same card as Mo Lucas. Like, there are very few differences between those 2 cards. In terms of shooting, Cliff's better, but Mo Lucas has a way, way, way better release. I don't mind set shot 3, but base 12 is such an easy one to green. But at the same time, like, Cliff or Mo Lucas is look based, Cliff's not look based, but Cliff takes a lot of time. So I can see why people are kind of, well, just don't even know how good the card is. But Cliff Robinson is spectacular. He's not going best 10, but he's going into elite. Clyde is going to go into the good category. As time's gone on, the usefulness of Clyde has kind of dropped. Like, Clyde was one of the best cards in the game when he first came out, obviously. He was one of the best 2 guards in the game for even a while after he came out. He was a solid, solid card. But as time's gone on for Clyde Drexler, I just think there's just better cards now. I think he's going to go into good. Dame, I'm with Dame into very good. As I think, I've still seen a couple of good players running Dame. I mean, a lot of people ran Dame early when he first came out because he was one of the best, like, 3 hunting point guards in the game. And he still is. He's like Steph Curry bad on defense. I think throughout the year, there are certain players that no matter what defensive stats you give to them, they're going to suck on defense. Iverson gets really good steal animations. So Iverson is not very good on defense, but you know Iverson's getting plucked. Same with guys like CP3 who are small. But Dame, whatever it is with Dame's player model, whatever it is with Dame's defensive animations, there are no defensive stats you can give Damian Lillard to not make him suck on defense. Like, you can badge him up and he will still suck on defense. It was the same last year. It's just something about Dame's player build. His stats are pretty good, and I still just target the guy. But yeah, he's going to go there. I'm going to go very good for Marley. Like, Marley is very good. But at the same time, like, what's the point? Like, when you have Jaylen Brown, what is the point in Dan Marley? Dan Marley and Jaylen Brown are next to identical stats-wise, except Jaylen Brown's a little bit better a dunker as far as I'm aware. But they're so similar stats-wise, as well as being incredibly similar stats-wise. They're both free. They were both free. And they have very similar badges. The difference is that Jaylen Brown's got a way better release. So, I'm not going to put him into elite. I think even putting him at... Oh, no, he is very good. He's definitely more than solid. See, I don't like Granger. I'm still going to put him into elite. I don't really like Granger. I remember watching Ty's gameplay. Obviously, Ty made him look better than I did because in my gameplay, like, someone clearly knew what I was trying to do, that I was just trying to score with Granger, and completely boxed me, which happens. Like, if you're playing a game and someone realizes you're scoring one player, it's kind of GG's then. But he completely boxed me with Danny Grant when I was using Granger. But Granger's just, he's a cone. He's a pretty damn good one though. If he could play at the two things, I think it would be different. But he can't. Like, and for an unlimited reward, I think he might be honestly the second worst unlimited reward this. He might be the worst unlimited reward because Wilt was the best end of the game probably day one. He's probably the worst unlimited reward this year. Cowens. I'm gonna put Cowens in the good. I don't think Cowens is that much better than Bill Russell. I think it's a very, very close one. But because it's a very, very close one, I'm just gonna put Cowens in good. I think at this stage in the game, there's absolutely no reason to own Dave Cowens and to actively use the card. Because, I mean, he's fine. But that's it. D-Rob, best 10. He's been in, like, I don't know when 2K are going to bring out a center, so it's going to be objectively just better than D-Rob. But I don't know when it'll be. I'm going to put DeJounte into decent. DeJounte's fine. Like, DeJounte is absolutely, as a player, fine. That's the only way I can describe DeJounte Murray. Like, at this stage of the game, he's not particularly tall. He's not particularly mobile. He's a decent defender, but only silver clamps. He's fine. DeMar DeRozan, I'm going to put into... I'm going to put DeMar DeRozan into very good tier. A lot of people would have him in a higher tier, but I'm going to put him into the very, very good tier. Because he's just solid. I just personally think that him versus Bailey Howell is a preference question because they're the same 6. Gonna go very good for Boogie. I know a lot of people are going to want Boogie in a higher tier than very good, but I think very good is where he belongs because I don't think he's elite. I really don't think he's elite. But at the same time, he's better than good. So yeah, Buddy Hield, or it's not Buddy Hield, DeMarcus Cousins is going to go into very good. Schrempf is good. Schrempf is actually a good player. He is a good player. His movement is not great, but he's a 6'10 shooter, can play at the 3, can play at the 4. Decent rebounder. He's just decent everywhere. Dikembe, good. He's mash man. He's a little bit slow, but he is a very good masher. So, you gotta respect the paint mash. In this game, you gotta respect the paint mash. Dirk Nowitzki, he stinks, but Dirk is really popular in real life. So, only use if you like him in real life. I know there are a few Dirk fans out there. There are definitely a few Dirk fans out there. Dolph. Now, Dolph is borderline. Dolph really is borderline in the very good and elite players category. Dolph, again, from Halloween. The fact that Dolph's Halloween set and then D-Rob came out 1 week after the other is nuts. But Dolph's going to go very good, really good shooter. Dominique, only use if you like him in real life. Dominique definitely deserves to go into the decent tier. I don't think he deserves to go into the good tier. But again, he's another one of those players that people just like Dominique Wilkins and will go out of their way to, well, use Dominique. So, but yeah, for that reason, Dominique Wilkins is going to go into the good old only use him if you liked him in real life tier. Donovan Mitchell. Now, I don't think Donovan Mitchell's a top 2 point guard, but he is elite. He is absolutely elite. And I understand why a lot of people do think that he's a not even top 2, top 1 point guard. Like Donovan Mitchell, again, as we have said yesterday, from the soaring set, he's soaring, he's flying. There's not a star in heaven that this guy can't reach. So like, D-Mitch, I'm telling you, the guy's definitely one of those players that you should, if you can afford him, is going to be good. Problem is, he's the most expensive player in my team right now. I'm not even kidding. I don't understand how, but he is the most expensive player in all of my team is Donovan Mitchell. Doug West. Doug West is going to go into the good category. Doug West can move. He really can move. Doug West can really shoot, surprisingly enough. But the thing with Doug West is he's very incomplete. He's not particularly tall. And just in general, he's meh. Like, he's a token reward. Like, I think Baron Davis at 750 tokens is more worth it than Doug West at 150, which is very rare that I'll say. Because normally I'm all for the cheaper guys being better value, but like, I've used Doug West a few times. He's very mid. Like, he's very meh. And for that reason, I'm going to put him into his tier. I'm going to go Draymond, very good though. Draymond is easily, if you are like really struggling for MT, Draymond is a guy that he's going to help you out big time. Draymond is, I think at one stage he was on the 10,000 MT. He's going to play really good defense. He's going to dribble the ball really well. He's going to act as a secondary ball handler, and he's going to do a really good job of that. So yeah, we've got him very good. Then we got Wade. Wade's going to go, Evo Wade is going into Elite. He's one of the best point guards in the game, and there's a reason why a lot of competitive players use him, because he's that good. Like, again, for me, he's like a better version, quite a bit better version of John Wall. And like, I like John Wall. Like, I really like that John Wall card. And I think Wade he's a bit better. I think value-wise, he's not really there. Because, again, John Wall exists. And when John Wall exists and Wade is, I think, 10 times the price, especially when he came out, he's not great. This Wade's only going with the good, though. His shooting, he struggles with shooting. He's very incomplete when it comes to shooting badges. And I get it, he can play point guard as well. Problem is that, again, the guy only holds 5 badges. And by the time you've put 5 badges on the card, you could add 5 extra huffs to him and put them all. You're going to need to add more than 5 badges to him, basically, to make him even close to the Evo. And to even make him close to a John Wall. So, it's a tough one. I think maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on this Wade. But just his price, everything about him, I'm going to put the guy into good. Eddie Jones, I'm going to put into good. I think he's definitely, it's not that he's outdated, it's just that we've gotten better players since. There's a difference between saying a card's outdated and just, like, there have been better players. You can still, to this day, use Eddie Jones in Unlimited and have a ton of success. You can have a ton of success with Eddie Jones in Unlimited. And you can have a lot of fun using Eddie Jones if he's your main man. Or, not if he's your main man, if you're just looking to use the guy as a defender, but he's going to go into good. Mikan is going to go into very good. And I can't... No, Mikan... I think Mikan's going to have to go into very good tier. He might get moved up to Elite. But like, Birdman and Serge Ibaka are better. I love George Mikan. I genuinely love George Mikan. Birdman and Serge Ibaka are better than George Mikan. Hakeem's better than George Mikan. So, it really just depends on how many players in each position we have in the very good tier. But for now, I cannot, or sorry, in the Elite tier. For now, I can't believe it. I'm not putting Mikan in an Elite card. He's just a very good card. Mikan is just another very good card in my team. Which is a shock. Gerald Wallace, again, another very, very solid card. Gerald Wallace's shooting is good. His defense is really good. It's just as time's gone on, again, every one of these cards becomes outdated after a while. And that is kind of the thing with Gerald Wallace. I think Iggy's like a more updated version of him. He's going to stay very good. Giannis. Now, Giannis, I'm very torn on Giannis because I understand for a lot of people he's the best 10. I understand for a lot of people he's the #1 power forward in the game. But there are still a lot of players, really good players, that don't like Giannis. I'm not the highest on Giannis. I just don't like that release. I really don't like that release. Like, give me Mo. Like, I think Mo Lucas and Giannis are very comparable players. I think because of how much I like base 5, Bob McAdoo, for the way I play the game, are very similar players. But I've seen the likes of Ty using this guy, and he really is that dude. So I don't know about best 10, but he might be. He just might be. Gilbert Arenas, oh, he sucks. I only use him if you like him in real life. He's a big name, so he kind of fits that tier down to a T. So next up, we're going to go Hakeem Olajuwon. Just realize we're like probably not even halfway through and we're half an hour, so I need to get this over with a little bit quicker. Hakim Olajuwon's going into elite. He is a bit better than Mikan. You could argue he's that number 2 center in the game. Heck, some people will argue he's the number 1 center in the game. And if that's what you believe, I'm cool with it. I think he's spectacular. Worth the lock in? Probably not, but he's not a bad player at all. Ja Morant, good. Especially if you badge him up, he's good. I think he's got a good player build. He's got a good release and PG release. His dribble style is nice. His shooting is good as well. I don't think there are any major flaws in Ja, except for he's incomplete and he's a little bit undersized, but he's not even that undersized. Not even too undersized to be usable. So yeah, Ja's definitely above decent tier. I don't even know why I was contemplating putting Ja in decent tier. He's definitely above decent. Jamal Crawford. Now, Jamal Crawford. I think I'm going to go very good for Crawford. Because the big problem, he's so incomplete. Like, there are players that are incomplete. And I know you might be saying, oh, you don't need to add badges. Like, Jamal Crawford, you either make him good at shooting or good on defense. Because he can't, like, shoot from deep. There's a lot of things he can't do with his current set of badges. Problem is, you can only give 4 badges to him because he's a diamond. And he needs so many. Like, comes with like no defensive badges and like no shooting badges. So you gotta pick. You gotta pick and choose. Do you want to make Jamal Crawford a shooter, or do you want to make Jamal Crawford a slightly better defender? If you make him the shooter, he's gonna be a huge liability on defense because his player build is tiny. His player build is one of the smallest player builds in the game for a 6'5" player. And if you make him a defender, he's still not going to be able to create too well. So he is going to have to go into there. Harden, I think Harden's going to go into very good. Harden, I still think to this day is a good player. I think Harden is a player that a lot of people have had a lot of fun with this year. And I think he's someone that when we get a better version of James Harden, he's going to be really good. But I think putting him in elite is gassing it when he's a 2-guard small forward. Like, I think there are some people with juiced Hardens that can still use them, and you can definitely get away in any scenario, whether it be competitive, whether it be casual, whether it's unlimited TTO, clutch time. It doesn't matter what game mode you're playing. Harden is going to be more than capable, and he's going to be a really, really good player. But there are just better cards, so he's going to go into very good category. Then we get Worthy. I think Worthy is just so incomplete. Like, Worthy's another one. He needs so many badges to be good. He needs so many. And he needs more badges than you can give him. And again, that is the problem with certain cards, is that, like, you can only give them a certain amount of badges. And they need a lot of them to be great. So Worthy is very good. Like, for me, Worthy's just all-around game is lacking that little bit. He's a really good defender. He sits corner. But, like, if you're asking me to compare Worthy to, like, Bailey Howell, I think that's a very good comparison. I think Bailey Howell's slightly better. Jaren Jackson Jr. Oh, wow. That's a... Now, I got him a very good. That's a tough one, though. That is a tough one, because I do like this card. I think maybe he belongs in good more than very good. But it's still hard. It's still hard to justify, like... Oh. He's one of those 2 tiers anyway. He's in between. He is very much borderline. So he's going to go... Screw it, I'm going to put him in good. Asen Kid. There are a lot of Asen Kid fans. The guy can't shoot. The guy has an 80-something 3-ball. He may as well have a 43 ball. You will never be able to get a shot off with him. It takes so long to get a shot off. You players can be under the rim and contest him. So yeah, Asen Kid, only use him if you like him in real life. He's a big name. And he is still better, in my opinion, than a freaking Ben Wallace. I mean, Gilbert Arenas is just sucks. So I might have to move him down. But Jay Rich, I'm going to put Jay Rich in very good. I think he's, again, at that similar level to a James Harden. He's not quite at the elite level power 2-guard small forward, but he is very, very solid. Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is better than Jay Rich, but I think it's close. So I'm going to put Jaylen Brown into the very good category as well. Tatum, decent. The release is so bad. The release is just so bad. Like, his overall stats and badges are good. Like, in general, like, a lot of people are like, oh, why is Tatum so low? Like, in general, if you look at like stats and badges, he's not actually that much better than Aaron Gordon. Like, I'm not even undershooting him that much. He's not that much better than Aaron Gordon. So, yeah, he's solid. Like, he's on the list, but I mean, he's not great. So yeah, Tatum is going to go into decent. Jerry West. Jerry West going to very good. I think the very good category is the right spot for West because he can kind of dunk. His movement is pretty decent. Just all around, Jerry West is good enough. It's just the problem with West is that he came out right at the end of the season. And as soon as the season, like the season ended, we got a whole bunch of new players on Friday. I know we didn't really get point guards, but he's going to very good. He's one of the better point guards in the game. Jimmy Butler, very good again. He's like a shooting guard version of, let me think what his name is, Bailey Howell. Like, his 3-point shot is a little bit lacking. His movement is pretty average, but at the end of the day, Jimmy Buckets is a really good defender. So for that reason, I can't not put him into very good. Caldwell's going to good. Evo Caldwell is definitely going into good because, again, Evo Caldwell he's not like good, just good but not spectacular card. Like, he's going to do everything well. He's like a worse version of Dr. J, who's going to be one category ahead of him. And he's a player that I just kind of like. Now, ISO Joe. If ISO Joe, I'm going to put ISO Joe into elite players. Yeah, I'm going to put ISO Joe into elite. Because I just think with Joe that his movement is good. Problem is he has one lung. Like, he gets gassed quickly, but he is very good. Joel Embiid, only use him if you like him in real life. He sucks. John Collins, good. John Collins, I use him instead. I think he's the same tier as Jaren Jackson Jr. I got rid of Jaren Jackson Jr. from preferred Collins, but I do think it's close. I think Collins' release is very, very good. I think his just overall game, again, is pretty lacking, though. He's a good rebounder, okay defender. He's all right. Wall. Now, Wall's going to very good. It's tough. It is really tough because a lot of people would argue Wall into elite, and I just need to see how many. I don't want to have too many players in elite. I want most players to be in this good / very good category. I just need to see what way things are, but Wall's a really good player. I prefer, and if you're wondering why, a lot of people are going to be like, why do I have where's Baron Davis gone? Baron Davis in elite. I just think Baron Davis is better than John Wall. Julius Irving, very good. I've already said it. He moves, he dunks, he shoots, he's solid. And he's a pretty decent defender. Kareem stinks. Kareem absolutely stinks at this stage in the game. Like, you would think that with his height, that someone like that he would be somewhat usable. You would think with his height, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's just gonna be the same as the Kembe. Nope, not even close. Kawhi best 10. Best 10 for Kawhi Leonard. Elite defender, elite shooter, just an elite player. Keith Van Horn. Now, he was previously would have been in the not great category. He's going to go into decent. They changed his release. He no longer has set shot 4. He has base 4. Like, I didn't hate set shot 4. As in, like, I remember when Ty would talk about set shot 4, he talked about it like it was the single worst release in the game. However, while it's not the single worst release in the game, it's not base 4. Base 4 is incredible. So, he did get quite a bit better. Kemba, use if you like him in real life. He's very weak on defense, but he can cook. He's like, imagine Iverson without the defensive stats. On offense, because again, you're not really going to dunk. You might dunk a little bit with Iverson. I have played against people abusing dunk meter with Allen Iverson, so I don't know why I'm saying that. But for me, Kemba is so nice when it comes to just overall. He's so nice when it comes to the overall movement. His SIGs are incredible, and his release is really good. It's very similar to Reggie Lewis. That I think he's definitely not bottom tier. I think maybe you could even argue him indecent. But yeah, he's definitely not going any higher than those 2 tiers. Kevin Durant, no brainer, best 10. Kevin Durant is going into the best 10. He's one of the best guys in the game. This Kevin Durant's going to go into very good. I think he's so weak at rebounding that you can't really play him at power forward. And while he's a really good small forward, there are better ones. I think. Nah, screw it. This one's going into. He's going to go into the elite players. I think there were still a couple of people that were using him in their best squads right before the other one came out. We haven't gotten that many. We have gotten a lot of great 2-guard small forwards down the last few days, but he's going to go into elite players. This Kevin Durant is the exact same. We have 2 of them. Kevin Garnett. Now, I hate him. I hate him with a passion, but he's going to go into elite. Like, there's a reason why so many competitive players still to this day use him. I hate him with a freaking passion. The guy can't catch the ball for me. The guy, he'll hit shots. That's about it. But I've seen guys like Ty use him and he's looked good. I'm going to go good for Kevin. I'm going to maybe very good for Kevin Love. Like, I am not high on Kevin Love at all. I don't like that release. I know some people are super high on this card. Like, I know Ty is again. Ty is very, like, he is full on. He's on the Kevin Love hype train. Like, from the day that Kevin Love card came out, he has said he's one of the better centers in the game. Whereas I don't, even though it's funny because he's a card that you would think that I would like a lot more than Ty because he doesn't seem to be the greatest on defense. But Ty uses speed for defense more than anything. Whereas speed doesn't really factor in my game too much because the pace I play at. But he's going to go very good. I might move him lower. I'm honestly putting Kevin McHale good at this stage. I'm sorry, set shot. Set shot 3 isn't terrible. It's not good either. Like, someone like Cliff Robinson. Like, I don't think, again, it's like this absolutely unusable release. But at the same time, it's not a good release. So I'm not going to talk about him like he's a great shooter. Clay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God, thank God. Thank God, lads. Clay, I don't know where I left Clay. I really don't know where I left Klay Thompson. But Klay Thompson is going to go into... I'm going to put Klay Thompson in very good. We'll find him eventually when I'm scrolling, but I have absolutely no idea where I left Klay. But for me, I think he belongs in the very good tier. I don't think he is... I'm saying not in the very good tier. He belongs in the elite tier. What am I talking about? He belongs in elite. Diamond Klay would be in very... Diamond Klay would be borderline elite. Where the hell is Klay? Where did I leave Klay? Where is Klay? Okay, so for the next... I can guarantee you where we've got people in chat pointing... Or not people in chat. People in the comment section pointing to where I left Klay, but I just don't know. I just can't see him. So yeah, Klay is going to go into elite. So is Kobe. Kobe is going to go into elite players. I don't actually think... Surprisingly enough, I still think... I know so many people sold their Kobe Bryants. I still think Kobe belongs in a lot of squads. Like, if you're a huge fan of Kobe in real life, like, if you were a huge Kobe fan, like, he's still one of the top players in the game. Okay, I know a lot of people, like, don't really like using him as a player in my team. Or not even don't like using him. A lot of people are like, oh, he's just outclassed in game. But it's like, he's definitely not Reggie Lewis. But for me, there's not enough difference between, like, Kobe and Reggie Lewis that if you're a Kobe fan, you should stop using Kobe. Like, if you're a Kobe fan, you should still be using Kobe. Because he is comparable to he's comparable to all the quote-unquote, like, best cards in the game. Like, you're not going to notice that much of a difference in when you're using them. So, Kyrie's going very good. I can't believe I'm saying this. I cannot believe I am saying this. I'm putting Kyrie Irving very good on a NBA 2K tier list. Something that I don't think I would have predicted for the channel because I normally hate Kyrie and I hated that Kyrie first. I put Larry into good. Like, I think Larry is pretty good. The problem is, like, if I've got if I've got someone like AK in the good tier, I can't justify putting Larry or a tier above Andre Kirilenko. So LeBron, I'm going to for now put him in elite. He might go up to best 10. I think him and Giannis are the two that are most likely to go up to best 10. because they are just, like, in the right hands, both of them are exceptional. Both of them can be absolutely exceptional in game. So, two good players, and we're going to put them both into elite players, but maybe moved up. Luka Doncic. I'm going to put Luka in very good, because Luka, every time I play against Luka, it's one of two things. It's either someone who is really freaking good at the game, and if you're really good at the game and you know, like, everyone knows about Luka, like, everyone that's good at the game knows what to expect when someone uses Luka. They are chucking everything. Like, you shoot everything when you have Luka Doncic. That is how you play with Luka. Like, people are like, oh, I don't know how to use Luka. It's like, no, you shoot everything. Like, you get open and you shoot every single, you have it, you don't even need space. You look like you're heavily contested, you shoot it. You're open, you shoot it. He's almost impossible to contest. But if you're not chucking everything with Luka, he's not very good at anything else. He's not a great defender either. And his animations aren't good. Magic Johnson. I'm going to put Magic Johnson in the elite players category. This Magic, 75th Magic, is the same. I still don't know where. I still can't find Clay. I have been looking for that freaking headband for so long. And I can't find it. Manu. Manu's in good. Manu is in good. I love Manu Ginobili. Like, but I'm not going to let my personal bias play on my judgment here. The guy belongs in... guy does not belong higher than good. He really does not belong in very good. He's not as good as Harden. I just love using him. Marc Gasol. Now, Marc Gasol is very good. He is very, very good. He was good. He was good the day he came out. He's still good today. He's just a really, really solid player that I think a lot of people have slept on completely. So yeah, Marc Gasol going to go into very good. Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, I'm going to put into... I'm going to put low, very good. I think Kyrie's better than him, but I don't think it's by much. I'm going to put him into low, very good category. He's still going to go there. Maurice Lucas. Elite. Absolutely elite, lads. Maurice Lucas is an incredible player. His defense is immaculate. His shooting's pretty good. And like the fact that I've got Cliff Robinson in this tier, Maurice Lucas and Cliff Robinson, very similar. I think maybe Maurice Lucas is probably better. So yeah. Did Clay just disappear? Am I that blind? I still can't find the dude. But Jordan, only use if you like him in real life. And if you have the pink diamond Jordan, just downgrade to this Jordan. But literally only use Jordan if you like him, if you're a fan of Jordan in real life. Michael Redd, very good. Very similar in terms of level to... Very similar level to Dr. J. Better shooter though. I never got him, so it's not great. Mike Miller, very good. I think Mike Miller and Michael Redd are similar level cards. I think most people would probably have Redd over Miller, but I mean, there's a lot of arguments to be made for Miller over Redd. So yeah, we're gonna have him there. Then we're gonna go Yao Ming. Look, Yao Ming would not be here for me, but it's hard for me to not put Yao Ming in the best 10 players. It is genuinely hard for me not to put Yao in the best 10. Because Yao Ming, in the right hands, is the best player in the game. If you are a mash man, if your whole tactic is to paint mash, Yao is really that dude. And I don't think, like, even though I'm not the highest on the card, I can't argue that. I can't argue that if you are good with Yao Ming's going to be the damn best for you. But if you're not good with Yao Ming, or if that's not the way you play the game, then you should probably pass on using the card. However, the way Yao Ming can be used effectively is one of the best ways of playing the game. So, and the most effective ways of playing this game and winning in this game. So, Yao Ming, you're getting into best 10. You're getting into best 10, which a lot of people might be surprised by. I'm going to go good for Batum. Like, AK is better than Batum. And I think just as time's gone on, Batum he is just good. He's not very good. He's good. He's a guy that you're like, okay, yeah. If you have to use Batum, then there's every situation where you have to use Batum. you should feel okay because, I mean, he's good at everything. But, like, Batum's not even that much better than Boris Diaw. Again, they're clone. If you guys don't know, Batum and Boris Diaw are literally copy and paste of each other SIGs-wise. So, that's one thing. And I just think in general, they're very similar cards. I think you got half bullet on Batum, which is a very interesting badge for him to have. I think overall, they're very similar. And again, Batum doesn't have the advantage of being a big part. I know the Dia that I have here isn't that card, but he's not a big part of arguably the best dynamic duo we've seen in years. So yeah, that's where we are going with Batum, which is a shock to me because Batum had been one of my he'd been one of my guys this year. He's always one of my guys. Obi Toppin I'm putting in good as well. I think Obi Toppin, again, like, I don't want to overrate the guy because he's a budget player. But when we get to the budget tier list, he's going to be high. He's going to be really high when we get to that budget tier list. Because Obi Toppin has no real flaws. He's a little bit incomplete badges-wise. You're definitely not going to want to run him a center because of his big dribble style. Or you're definitely not going to want to dribble the ball with him because of his dribble style. And that's where the real kind of problems are, is that he has some flaws, but stats wise he's immaculate. He's immaculate. And for me, like, he's very similar level, if not a tiny bit better than not Boris Diaw. My god, I forgot his name. Batum. And we've got elite players. We're going to go into the elite players category for Pascal Siakam. Siakam's really good. As far as power forwards go, Siakam might be as good as LeBron. I really stand by that. Like, for me, Siakam has been played better than LeBron. So he might honestly get that spot in the top tier. Paul George. I think Paul George is still very good. What am I talking about? No, I prefer AK to PG. I know AK is better than PG. So Paul George is going to go into good. But again, good tier is pretty freaking good. So, yeah, that's where we're going with him. And I just need to go through these quite quickly. Paul Pierce, decent. He's like, I'm pretty sure he's got like less total badges than some rubies. Like, Pierce is fine. Pierce is fine. He's absolutely fine. He stinks as a 2,800 level card. But the good thing is that unlike, say, Dame from last year and Tatum, where you're like, oh, is that really it? Like, there's so many collector level cards this year that, like, there's so many collector level cards that it's not really that much a problem to have one or two bad ones. Penny, best 10. I still rate Penny so highly, especially with the duo. Reggie Lewis, get yourself into best 10 as well. I don't think there's much of a debate for Reggie Lewis, honestly. So, like, we've got the center position sorted. Here, we've got our point. We don't have our point guard sorted. So we only have one point guard so far. Probably, I don't know who I'm going to put in number one, but we've got 7 of our best 10 sorted. Kazi, I think Kazi might belong. I really do think Kazi. Like, Kazi might be the one that we drop. But I also think Kazi might end up staying. So we got Rudy Gay. Now, I prefer Rudy Gay to both LeBron and Giannis. I just want to put it out there. Like, for me, Rudy Gay is absolutely elite, but is he better? Is he better than those? That's the question. Like, well, yeah, I might prefer him. Is he just better? Is he a better card? Because that is completely different. Westbrook. I mean, Evo'd Westbrook isn't good. He's not very good. He's good. Sam Jones, good. I think he's slightly above decent. But he's also most definitely not higher than good. Scottie Pippen. I'm putting Scottie into very good. He's a player that I really, really like in game. I think his defense is immaculate. And I don't think there's any real flaws with this card. I really don't. Okay, I'm just going to try to get these ones done very, very quickly because we don't have a lot of... Well, I want to keep this... Well, it's not going to go under the hour, but I want to keep it under the hour. Serge Ibaka is going into elite. He's one of the best centers in the game, period. Like, Serge Ibaka is going into there. Did I forget Birdman? I think I forgot Birdman. For me, Birdman will be into the elite tier as well. For me, Birdman would be into the elite, which is mad. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has not been released, so I'm not going to rate him. Shaquille O'Neal. I think both versions of Shaq are similar. I'm with Shaq and very good. If you want an actual like out and out big man and interior, I mean, you could definitely argue Shaq is one of the best center, is the best center in the game. But for me, I think a lot of people are kind of weak with Shaq, so I'm going to put him into very good. Marion, which is good, really good on defense, one of the best defenders in the game. Jump shot is slow, but he doesn't miss whites. He's good. Like, he's a lot better than people give him credit for, but I think good is the right tier. Steph Curry. Steph's gonna go into very good. Steph is going to go into very good. A really nice point guard. Can move quite well. I forgot Gary Payton, didn't I, as well? Yeah, I forgot Gary Payton. Screw it. Oh, do I put Baron Davis as the number 2 point guard in the game? Or do I put Wade? I think I might just put Wade. So, like, I'm thinking so far, I got Wade and Penny as my point guards. I got Kazi Russell and Reggie Lewis as my 2 guards. I got Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard as my small forwards. I got these 2 as my centers. So basically, I need either some wings or power forwards and centers to fill out the end of my list. So Nash, this Nash is nowhere near as good as the other Nashes, but I'm gonna put Nash in good. He's okay. He's fine. That's the best way I can describe him. Cummings, decent. He's got some good things going for him. I just hate that release so much. Actually no. Terry Cummings is good. Terry Cummings is good. Where I think I've gone very good. Terry Cummings is good. Now Terry Dishinger. I'm putting Terry at the small forward position in the best 10. So we get 9 of our 10 here. And I'm going to KD to power forward. So I need literally a power forward. So it is between... It's going to be between Rudy Gay, LeBron, and Chris Bosh, isn't it? Duncan, I'm going to put into very good. I think his defense is really good. His offense is very hit or miss. I'm going to put Tony Parker into only use him if you like him in real life. He's not actually that bad in game. I know a lot of people have actually said he's surprisingly good. Problem is there's absolutely no reason to use him unless you're a huge Tony Parker fan. Tracy McGrady. He's gone elite. He's still a 6'8" guard. He can still hawk lanes really well. Tracy McGrady is still an elite player in my team. He really is. Trey Young, only use him if you like him in real life. Trey, like, I know Wall balls out with him, but like, he's the only one I've seen. Trey Young is still solid. He's still solid, but I'm gonna put him into this tier. Oladipo, I'm gonna put Oladipo in very good. I think Oladipo is literally Dwayne Wade. If he had point guard eligibility, he would be Dwayne Wade. Like, they're so similar, except for the fact he can't play point guard. Vince Carter, only use him if you're a big Vince Carter fan. At this stage in the game, only use him. Like, he is in the decent tier, or even maybe even the good tier. But, like, let's be real, at this stage, you're only using Vince if you like him in real life. You could argue that this only using if you like him in real life tier should be added decent, and I probably would agree with you, but yeah, that's where he's going. Wes Unseld, decent. I think he's like quite a bit worse version of Draymond. He's fine when he's badged up. X-Man Xavier McDaniel, very good. Very good. I think he's just a slight bit off elite, but X-Man's really, really good. Really good defender, decent shooter, solid player. And then Zion is the last player. Only use him if you like him in real life. Zion's a scrub. Zion's so bad. Zion is so bad. So anyway, yeah. Oh, actually, I need my final decision. So we have got a couple of seconds to make the decision. So we have got 4 players to choose from. Maybe 5. We have got Jameson, Siakam, Giannis, Rudy Gay, LeBron James. The best of all these cards, base, with no badges added, is Siakam. When you add the badges, Giannis takes the spot as the final spot in the best 10. You give him as many badges as possible, he takes the final spot. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. I need to wrap this up quickly. You guys can see all this. I said I was going to do this in under an hour, and right now we are very, very close to hitting the hour mark. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys if you've lasted the whole way through. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys can take some advice from this. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.